Hey YouTube. So, I have been asked this question a lot about the military. So, I kind of want to make a video to cancel out all those questions only because somebody is always messaging me about the questions and I figure I could just tell everybody at once so I don't have to keep explaining the same question. The question I keep getting is, should I join the military? And if I do, should I join the army? Or questions about me getting out and why I got out and if I enjoyed the military. So I'm gonna go ahead and answer those questions now. As you can see, I'm not wearing any extensions today or anything. The last video I had, I was wearing clip-in extensions, but I took them out. So yeah, I'm just wearing my natural hair right now. As you can see, it is growing. The main question I've been asked is, did you enjoy the army? No. I'll put it to you straight. So I did enjoy it at first. I loved it. I was very happy. I was very excited. I had the goal that everyone else has to, I wanted to be an E8 like my mom. My mom was an E8. She retired at E8. So when I joined the army, my mom, of course, was like, why the army? I joined the army because it was a lot faster process than the Air Force. So I chose to be a fueler, and I was actually pretty excited, but I didn't really know what I was going into. So I instantly get on YouTube and I start searching up, fueler jobs or whatever in the army. And if any of you out there want to look up a fueler job, if you're interested or whatever in the army, it is actually a really cool job. But yeah, I was a fueler / technically I was a Petroleum Supply Specialist. All we did was drive these huge trucks, like huge, and they're called M978. They're insane, but if you get to drive this truck in the military, you actually can certify to drive big trucks when you get out the army if you want to be a truck driver. I don't want to do that because I hate driving trucks. So I don't want to be a truck driver. But anyways, so we had to learn to drive those, and you always have to wear your ACH/helmet for those who don't know army lingo, and you have to wear your gloves at all times, and you wear these goggles over your face. So the goggles are kind of like sunglasses, kind of. It just depends on what you want to wear. So you can wear like actual goggles if you want, but they're like really bulky and irritating. Or you can wear the sunglasses type ones that they give to you. And if you lose them, you can buy them over and over and over at the PX. But just so you know, they're not exactly cheap. So don't keep losing them because that's going to suck. Just so you know, if you hear anyone say, where's your Kevlar, where's your ACH, they're talking about your helmet. Anyway, so yeah, so then I left within 3 months. Basic was insane. It was fun. It was crazy. As long as you listen really to everything and you study what they give you in basic, you'll be fine. But I don't know, basic has changed since I went, and I went in 2013. And things have changed since, and it's only been 3 years. People were freaking out over there. Like, some people, they couldn't handle it. Some people, they get so stressed out and freaked out that they just break down, and then they would get sent home because they would beg to leave home. So the downside of somebody, breaking down and everything and wanting to go home, it sucked because by the time they left finally and got sent home, we were already done with basic. So they left around the same time that we did. The only thing is we were moving forward with, our military career, and they weren't. So it's kind of like you guys should have waited it out, those couple more weeks, because now for the rest of the time that you were there, you were stuck cleaning, you were doing other stuff that you could have been doing with us and you could have finished. Some people can't handle it. Basically, after we went to basic. Then of course, you know, we went to AIT to learn our job. AIT is more, you know, laid back and stuff, but I went to Virginia for AIT and I went to Fort Jackson for basic. So anyways, so school was sort of fun. So I graduated or whatever, and it was cool, you know. So when I got to my actual duty station, getting there, it was very confusing because I got to Fort Bliss, you know, in El Paso, Texas, and it was so confusing because the post is huge. It's so big that they have, okay, in my opinion, it's not a mall, but they call it a mall, but it has food places in it than any other post or base that I know of. Right here on base, they have 4 things, I want to say. Okay, so they have 6 things on base right now where I'm at. So on post, they have way more than that, and they have like a sushi restaurant. They have everything. So if you want to look it up, just type in Fort Bliss and you'll find it, trust me. The reason why Fort Bliss sucked and the Army period sucked, because they screwed me over big time. It's because, so when I first joined, before you like leave, you know, for basic and everything, you have to go to MEPS first. And you have to get everything checked out by a doctor. You have to get, you know, your back checked out. You have to get everything checked out first to make sure everything's good. So they told me that I probably wouldn't make it in the Army because my back was jacked up or whatever. It wasn't jacked up before I joined. So they told me that I barely made it in. So that information will come handy later. So when we first got there or whatever, so you know, you go to the first couple days to learn everything and to get everything done, like housing and all that, everything. That part wasn't as bad. But once I got to my actual unit, you know, meeting everybody, everyone was really cool and really chill. So everything went smooth for a good 6 months. Now, once 6 months happened, everything went downhill after that, and it stayed downhill after that. I had permissive TDY, you know, to get everything set up, like an apartment and, you know, my family and everything. They had left for the field, so they didn't expect me to go to the field because I literally had just got there, and they probably had like a week left in the field, I think, or something. They told me that I would be going to the field, and I was like, I'm not ready for the field. Like, I don't even know what I'm supposed to take. So I literally took everything. Now they're gonna give you like a bunch of gear. Like, when I mean a bunch, I mean a bunch. Like, you're gonna have a whole bunch, and half of it you're not gonna ever use. Stuff still had tags on it. I just turned that stuff right back in. And so I took everything out there, and I wasn't supposed to. And they're like, you didn't have to bring everything. You could have just brought this, this, and this, and you would have been fine. I'm like, well, no one told me anything. So that was the first thing that sucked, because nobody was willing to help me out and let me know what to pack and what to take out there. So then we come back from the field and everything, you know, and I get to kind of know everybody. And I made the mistake of calling somebody attractive. Now, yeah, you know, I was married or whatever, but I mean, I was just saying, you know, somebody's, I mean, it's not, it doesn't hurt to say somebody's attractive. It's not like I was trying to pursue anything with them or anything. I was just like, you know, he's kind of cute or whatever. Well, I made the mistake and said that to the wrong person. That person ran their mouth real quick and told 2 NCOs. Well, actually, she told an NCO, and then that NCO told the main NCO, which NCO is not a commissioned officer. They went off on me like, you're married, blah, 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 you're not supposed to be doing that, and you know, you can't be seeing if people like you, and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, what are you talking about? I'm not trying to like anybody. I'm not trying to get a relationship with anybody. I know all I said was that, you know, he was good looking. Like, I didn't know there was a crime. Things went downhill because all of a sudden my reputation was gone, and people saw me as this slut because there were rumors that I was hooking up with everybody. Apparently, me and my husband had completely like broke up or whatever. He left. He was gone for a while, and I kind of moved on from him while I was trying to. So I was dating, but my mistake was dating somebody that I worked with. And, you know, he was a really nice guy or whatever. We were at work, and he was so happy to be around me, but I kept telling him, like, you can't be like this. Like, we need to pretend like we barely even, like, talk. Like, we're just friends, you know? I said, because that could mess up everything. And this guy smacked my butt right in front of the NCOs. Like, I'm talking like a table full of NCOs. And we walk right past him and he goes right on my butt. And I'm like, what are you doing? So tell me why they go off on me for him doing it, as if I poked my butt out and I turned around and I was like, hey, there's a bunch of NCOs, smacked my butt real quick. I didn't tell him to do it. He did it like an idiot. Like, and you're gonna get mad at me for it? Get mad at him for it. I didn't do anything. I didn't expect it. So after that, they perceived me as a slut because one of the NCOs that we worked with, he had the biggest crush on me, and it was so weird because he's like in his 40s, I think. And I mean, he was good looking for his age, sort of. He was an issue because everybody could see how close he was to me. And so I'm just like I'm not trying to have a reputation because you're all up in my face, like, you know. So I had him, and then one of my guy friends, we were best friends, and he lived in the barracks, you know, and I had my own apartment. So he would tell me like, hey, you know, let's go to Las Cruces or whatever, and, you know, go hang out or whatever. Let's just go do something. And I'm like, okay, cool. So it was me, him, and then my other guy friend. Well, at the time he was my guy friend, but we're not cool no more. People were tattletelling on me that my car was at the barracks, that they seen my car at the barracks. And it's like, okay, and like, I wasn't in there physically. I was in the car with them in Las Cruces. I was not inside of the barracks at all, but they felt like because I was married, I wasn't allowed inside the barracks at all. Like, that's not where I need to be. So I was constantly getting shit for them seeing my car at the barracks, but they didn't actually physically see me. Now, see, if they would have called me and been like, hey, yo, we see your car out here in the barracks, can you come outside? I would have been like, I'm in Las Cruces, dude. I can't. I'm 30 minutes out. When I get back, I'll come see you. If you want to wait for me, go right ahead. I'm not in there. So then they assumed that me and him were hooking up because we're best friends. I kept telling them, he's my best friend. That is it. There's nothing else between us. No, they just assumed we were hooking up because I was always hanging around him. So that was a huge, like, you know, thing that pissed me. There was also this guy who used to hit on me all the time, and he was so annoying. And people could see it too. And I kept telling him, like, no, like, you know, me and you, there's never gonna be a me and you. But anyways, so they assumed me and him were hooking up as well. It was a huge problem because one of the NCOs pulled me aside, and she's like, heard that you hooked up with 6 people since you've been here. You've only been here for 6 months. And she like giving me the look and everything. And I was like, I'm thinking in my head, like, did you just realize what you just said, right? That you heard that I hooked up with 6 people since I've been here in 6 months that I've been here. Me and my husband had just broken up probably like 2 months before. So, I mean, geez, she kept saying, oh, you know, it's not about what everybody's saying. It's about what you're doing and how it looks. And I'm like, what am I doing? What? And I'm like, at this point, I'm shaking. I'm having an anxiety attack. Like, it's pissing me off. And see, at the time, I didn't even know I was having an anxiety attack. I just knew that I was so irritated at what everything was going on. I was having this stupid issue, and it just made me so angry. So then after that, everyone started looking down on me. Like, everybody is acting like I'm the worst soldier in the world, that I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do this. But yet I'm getting recognized by the lieutenant colonel. If I'm getting recognized by higher ups, then I'm doing something right. But for you NCOs or soldiers to be talking all this shit about me, it didn't make any sense why, you know, I'm getting looked down. And even the captain, my commander, you know, saw good in me, and he would speak to me. He'd be like, yo, you know, I mean, he was African, and he had a very thick accent, but he'd be like, you know, Edens, let me talk to you. And I'd be like, cool, sir, you know, and I freeze. And then he's like, no, calm down, you know, just relax. It's just me and you talking, you know. And he'll ask me how I'm doing, you know, and if everything's okay. And even, you know, the PA and stuff, you know, he's captain, everyone in the medical, you know, I was okay with them and I could actually hang out with them and talk to them and stuff. But my own people were putting me down constantly. They were always saying that I was either a slut, I was doing this, I wasn't doing this right, I wasn't doing this. And I'm like, why? Like, what are you talking about? So it just got to a point where I was just so irritated that, you know, I'm like, I don't know if I can do this anymore. So I dealt with it, and as time passed, things got worse. So that Tuesday, we ran from work to the gym for PT. So we're running or whatever. We get into the gym. Now at this point, I'm stressed out because I know that today is the day that everything starts and that I'm gonna get shit for everything that I've done. So we get into the gym and I all of a sudden get really, really itchy. My throat and everything starts itching. My hands and everything get really itchy and I'm shaking and I feel really weird. I'm like, what's going on? So then I ended up completely swelling up. My face and everything is swollen and it's the worst possible thing ever. Like, and the thing is, I didn't even know what was going on. The thing is, we run back to work and they see me and they're like, oh my God, you need to go to the ER now, or to the medics now. And I'm like, why? And they're like, your face. So I get to the medics and they show me a mirror of what my face looks like. My eye is completely swollen right here, it's swollen under here, and my cheeks are swollen and everything, and it was crazy. So they put me on this medication, and thank God the captain put me on 3 days quarters. So, you know, when you get quarters, you get to stay home. You know, you don't have to go to work or anything. So he put me on quarters for 3 days on top of the 3 days we had for the 3-day that we had. So I didn't have to go to work for an entire week, and it was the best week ever because the swelling, I'm pretty sure everything happened because I had stressed out, and it was like a major panic attack I think I had, now that I think about it, and it was really bad. So from then on, like, they didn't punish me, they didn't make me do my CQ, they didn't make me do anything that they said that I would have had to. But it was just the fact that they were going to, you know, like, then I was made out to be a liar and a slut. And so as time went on, you know, I was continued to be this liar and slut, and basically it just got worse and it stayed that way for a while. Then I couldn't pass the PT test because I started having back pains. And, you know, when you have a back pain, you're supposed to get a profile or whatever. A profile is something that, you know, if it gives you limitations on what you can do. So my profile said, you know, I couldn't run, I couldn't do push-ups, I couldn't do a PT test. So they were mad at me that I got this profile because they thought I was faking it in order not to do the PT test. So I'm like, no, like, I've done PT tests before, like, so I don't, you know, why would I fake anything just not to do it? I guess my back pain had started because you do heavy lift as a fueler. Don't get me wrong, like, some of the things you do is crazy and hard work, but it pays off in the end. So I didn't take a PT test for a while, and then when I did, I would fail them because I hadn't practiced for them because I was on profile. So it was a huge lose-lose situation. And then they assumed that I just wasn't trying at all anymore, that I had just given up. And I'm like, I ain't giving up on anything. Like, I am pushing, but you have to understand, like, I'm also in a lot of pain, and I've been on and off profile. So how am I supposed to, you know, how am I supposed to work my body if I can't do this, if I can't do this because I'm in pain? So it just completely sucked. They started the paperwork for me to get out, and I would have gotten chaptered out, and I don't even know if I would have got out on a dishonorable or honorable. I was hoping for honorable, but I had no idea at the time. So it was me and another person. Now the other person I was going with, they hated the Army anyways, and they didn't want to continue. So they purposely didn't pass the PT test. I got a new first sergeant. New first sergeant came in. He felt like I needed a chance to prove myself, but I needed time to get better. So he completely canceled it, and he's like, no, I'm gonna give you a chance because I feel like you can do this. And I'm like, okay, thank you. So he believed in me. So then we get a new commander in. This new commander, oh my God. So he just felt like, no, like you can't do anything, like you suck. So here's the problem with this Ooh. So I so I had already been going through issues, previously. Well, apparently people were talking mess to him about me and my past and whatever was going on, whatever they thought in their heads and made up to make me be this person that should be the most hated person in that freaking unit. As time went on, they're expecting me to pass this PT test, but my back still hadn't improved and I just felt like it was getting worse. So I was asking for help for my back because I'm like, my back is getting worse. I'm not going to be able to do a PT test right. I don't know what to do. So they put me in physical therapy. They reset my back. My back was still getting worse where I was in so much pain that I couldn't even exercise or do the PT exercises that they told me to do. It was just hurting way too bad. And even rolling on the little roller, the foam roller, you would think it would feel a lot better on my back. It didn't. It just hurt really bad. So then I told my physical therapist that there were certain parts of my back that hurt really bad. This wench, she's like, oh no, I don't feel anything. So then she goes down my back and in certain spots, I jump because it hurt. So she's like, well, maybe we should get it x-rayed. So I guess I don't know how they x-rayed it, but they didn't find anything. And then she's like, well, I didn't find anything, so you're just gonna continue physical therapy. And I'm like, that's because you ain't looking for anything. You're just assuming, that nothing is there, but I know it's there. I can feel it. So finally, they're like, well, so I'm talking to one of my peers, I think, and they told me where I can go get a second opinion from a higher up. It's like, okay, well, we'll get x-rays done. So I got an x-ray done on my back, and it showed that I do have scoliosis, but my scoliosis wasn't super bad that it would, that I had to get out, I guess. But she suggested that I see a second opinion. So I went to go see a second opinion, and they did a MRI. Now the MRI showed that I had a bulging disc and a degenerative disc and scoliosis. So when all of that came back, I'm like, so what happened to there's nothing there? It's gotten worse, obviously, since I've been out the military, but that's another story. So after I let them know, that that's what's going on in my back, for sure, that's what the MRI and everything said, they just assumed that I was still lying. So they keep setting me up, putting my name on the PT list. And at this point, they told me that I'm getting medically discharged out of the Army because I can't be in the Army anymore because my back is just gonna get worse. And sooner or later, I'm just gonna be in a condition where I can't do anything anymore. So my commander is so ignorant that he's like, no, Evans, you were just fine. Now all of a sudden you're in so much pain that you can't do anything. It doesn't. So at this point he doesn't believe me. He thinks I'm faking it. So they kept trying to send me out to the field. Now the field, you go out there for a month. Well, I couldn't wear any gear. I couldn't carry a weapon. I couldn't even have a helmet on because supposedly that did something with my spine or whatever. I don't know. So I had to get a permanent profile that says, nothing, can't do this, can't do this, can't do this, no bending, no this, no this, no this. It was insane. So I literally couldn't do anything. I couldn't even bend over to pick something up. It was crazy. So they were like, oh no, you're going to the field. We're gonna figure it out. And I'm like, whatever, y'all figure it out. They made it hell for me because I wasn't allowed to do anything. And so at this point, I had to go back because I had appointments. No, actually, that was when I had my second appointment from my second opinion, and that's when they told me what was wrong with my back and everything. So they made it official that I was getting out. So I went back out there to explain to them what's going on or whatever, and they're like, okay, well, either way, you're gonna stay. And I'm like, whatever, screw you guys. They were treating me like crap. the closer it got for me to get out, the worse that they were treating me. So by this time, I was feeling like that, because it's like, y'all really don't care about me. Like, I thought y'all supposed to care about y'all soldiers. You don't give a damn about me. You don't care about my back. You don't care about nothing, even though the evidence is right in front of your face. And so I guess the Sergeant Major felt bad because I was out there doing nothing. They went out to the ranges, in the tent doing nothing. I wake up whenever I want. I don't have to wake up at 5 in the morning like them, because I can't go anyways. So I probably woke up 12, went to eat. Nobody's around because they're all out shooting and stuff. So there's like barely anyone around. So finally I get the phone call. Hey, grab your stuff. You're going home. I'm like, thank you. And they're like, and you're not coming back, so don't worry, you know, about it. And I'm like, yes. So I finally get back home. Once I get home, they put me on CQ staff duty, on and off. Whatever, I don't care. So it got to the point where I was having anxiety attacks all the time, and I was just getting worse. So I had to go see a therapist because things were not working out for me. At the time I was pregnant. I found out I was pregnant, and I was in the office waiting to get some paperwork. My commander was in his office across the hall. He can see everything that's going, and he's like, Edens, why you in my office? Now, he's in there with the LT. And I was like, so I get up, you know, I go in there, you know, and stand at attention or whatever, and I'm like, just getting some paperwork, sir. And then he didn't hear the sir part, I guess, and he's like, I'm sorry but to tell you, but, you know, until you get out and become a civilian, you still have to call me sir. And I'm like, Roger, sir. Yeah, I called you sir. But okay. So I let it go. So then he starts putting me down, saying that I haven't done shit since I've been there, and I haven't tried, and I haven't done this and that and that. And he's just saying all of this stuff, putting me down. And I'm like, what, you know, it's all good, whatever, I'm getting out, leave me the hell alone. So in front of a big formation that we're having, he's like, you know what really makes me mad? There are soldiers here that haven't worked since they got here, but yet they're just collecting a paycheck. That's not right, blah blah. So he's just talking, and I'm like, you just need to put your foot in your mouth, because you are just, you're talking out of your ass right now. You're making me. And then the funny thing is, people knew he was talking about me. And the LT, you know, he had just been in there. So he looks at me and he's like, that's you, Edens. I was like, I know, right? Because I ain't shit. I was like, I guess I'm just gaining a paycheck. I said, at least I got that money though. And so I'm like sitting there, you know, trying to joke about it, because you're trying to embarrass me in front of everybody. I'm not going to allow you to embarrass me in front of everybody, because I know for a fact what I have done for my country, and I'm proud of it. So you can sit there and say all the stuff that you want, but I do not care. So finally I left, and I got out I got out in March, and I moved, and I took off the uniform for the rest of my life. And I never have to put it on ever again. So did I like the military? Hell no. I started out happy. I was ready to, you know, be the soldier that I wanted to be. I was ready to, you know, have a army brat, you know, for Ryan and Grayson now. And I was ready to, you know, I was ready to accomplish what my mom did, and I was ready for her to be proud of, you know, me being a soldier and me being able to do what I had to do. And the fact that they tried to make my life a living hell from start to finish was ridiculous. And it was a very terrible thing that anybody could do, in my opinion, and it was a shit show. So, should you join the military? Completely up to you. I mean, if you want to join the Army, just know not all units are like that at all. Some are more caring, because there were people there that cared for me a lot. I wasn't under. There were first sergeants there that, Edens, you work so hard today, you know, I want you to be my fueler when we go do this. And I'm like, I do too, but they won't allow me because I'm a female. So, you know, certain things like that. You know, you have some that are like, yes, we care about our soldiers, you know, you have this going on, good, go take care of it, you know. And then you have some places that are like, what? You think that's important? Look, I don't have family, so therefore, if I want to keep you here all night, that's what I'll do. My commander said that to us plenty of times. I don't have no family, so, you know, if I want to keep y'all here all night with me, we'll spend the night right here in this locker room. And you're like, but why? So anyways, so yeah, so if you want to join, be my guest. Hopefully your experience will be a lot better than mine. Hopefully you won't end up at shitty Fort Bliss. Hopefully you won't end up in 427 Field Artillery, because they are the worst. Fox Company is the worst. So if you end up there, I am so sorry. If you don't, congratulations. Hopefully the unit that you do go to is good. But in my opinion, I mean, I kind of would recommend it because the benefits are awesome. Now I get to go to college for free, and I'm getting health care for the rest of my life, and I'm also a disabled vet now. So, but, you know, if you don't go because of my opinion, I mean, in my opinion, if you're going to join a military branch, join the Air Force. Trust me, join the Air Force. And if you didn't get a high enough score like I did, retake it. Do not settle for less. I settled for less and I regret it. But I guess I don't regret it because things are kind of okay for me now. But I do regret, you know, being treated that way. It was the worst possible way I've ever been treated in my life. And it was nerve-wracking. It had me in tears all the time. It was just bad. So, yeah. So that is my answer to that question everybody has been asking me over and over. And if you're currently pregnant and getting out on a pregnancy discharge, I don't know anything about that because I didn't get out because of a pregnancy discharge. I got out because of my back and depression. I didn't get out because I was pregnant. So I can't answer that question for you guys that have messaged me about that. But yeah, so that is my experience. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm sorry it was so long. I didn't mean to make it this long, but like I said, it was a long story, and I really want to explain everything and kind of give you a picture of what I went through and how it began good and ended very bad. So yeah, so please like and subscribe, comment, you know, let me know what you thought of this video. If you have any other questions, if you want me to make a video of something else, like you have a question about, I will, you know, in any type of experience or whatever, I would be happy to let you all know. So thank you for watching, and goodbye.